Hello, my name is Esha Salman.
And I'm Joy Cheng.
And both of us are here today to discuss a very important issue that, although may cause some discomfort, is extremely necessary to talk about.
Bathrooms are such an important part of our everyday lives. No matter what time of day that you need to go, it is a facility that should be easily accessible. But what happens when these facilities are not adequately serviceable for the people who use them?
We get that the topic of bathrooms is quite weird to talk about. What started off as a discussion about something as simple as a school bathrooms morphed into months' worth of researching, interviewing, and uncovering. Throughout the journey of this project, we were able to talk to multiple students about different problems regarding the school bathrooms.
There's sort of a stigma surrounding the bathrooms. It's become almost a joke to use the ones provided at school. Some people try to minimize trips as often as possible, while others would rather go through a day of discomfort than use the school restrooms. When we dove deeper into the issue, we were able to uncover the problems with the bathrooms in our school that warrant this behavior from students.
School bathrooms are such an interesting topic for us to choose because of the simplicity that it carries on the surface. Thinking about school bathrooms may seem like a trivial issue, but going into open discussion makes people more aware of the problems that surround them. This is especially the case with the conditions of the restrooms that students deal with in the Fullerton Joint Union High School District.
The need for privacy in bathrooms is crucial in order to ensure that students can access them to their comfort. Amenities as simple as dividers that reinforce privacy should be something that is provided to students, but when these amenities are absent, it can make using the bathroom that much harder.
Upon doing some research, we realized that some schools in the Fullerton Joint Union High School District do not have dividers, and this lack of privacy seemed to raise some concerns amongst the students.
I proudly say that we don't have enough privacy because so in our urinals, we don't have any dividers. So usually what people do is they go to opposite ends. It's usually just two people using the urinals when there's five.
There definitely could be a lot more dividers in between the urinals because it'd also be really helpful because since there's no dividers, everyone goes to the stall and there's just a long line for the stalls.
It seems that this issue regarding privacy for the boys' restroom has been around for some time.
Back in 2021, Troy's newspaper, The Oracle, reported that the student ASB was holding a fundraiser to get dividers up in the 500 buildings as bathrooms in an effort to improve campus safety. Their goal of $1,300 was never accomplished, and they were asking for student donations through their ASB Instagram page for donations from students to go towards the efforts.
The efforts made back in 2021 did not take off, but this past year there was another campus improvement fundraiser at Troy.
Upon popular demand by the students, ASB was fundraising money for dividers in the boys' bathroom and set up stations to encourage student donations for school dividers.
Amidst all this fundraising, the most important question to ask is whether or not fundraising and donations made through the student efforts should be the way to implement basic amenities that should already be provided, such as the dividers, and the answer is no.
Executive Assistant of Administrative Services Dr. Carl Ziener and Director of Student Services Mr. Alan Witten, the administrators responsible for maintaining these facilities, revealed that fundraising should not be happening and that these issues and fundraising efforts were not made aware to them. With increased attention being brought to the topic of privacy, it is now that we are observing changes being made in regards to these issues. After talking and interviewing students and administration about the issue of dividers, we were able to guarantee that schools such as Troy will be allowed to have dividers not through school fundraising efforts managed by student ASB and run on student donations, but provided through administrative efforts.
Being able to use the restrooms with proper privacy is one thing, but having access to basic resources in the bathroom such as feminine hygiene products and other amenities such as toilet paper, soap, and functioning dispensers is another issue that comes up with the school bathrooms in the Fullerton Joint Union High School District.
When we talk to students about this issue, some claim that they never ran into many issues regarding access to resources at their school, while others had something else to say.
Yeah, when I checked it out, I was very surprised. They always stock it regularly. It was very surprising even at down the farm. They also stock that regularly, so I think they do a pretty good job.
No, so mainly the restroom in the 900 building and the restroom in the 300 building, they usually don't have soap dispensers, and they usually have missing toilet paper in some stalls. So yeah.
Something that we really want to draw special attention to is the issue of feminine hygiene products. Although it is required to display dispensers in the bathrooms that are supposed to be filled with pads and tampons for free, these dispensers are almost always empty at certain schools.
Amenities such as soap dispensers and adequate amounts of toilet paper are not only highly requested by students, but are also things that should already be provided. Even with the provisions given by the schools to fix these issues by contacting certain administrators, some of these issues never seem to get fixed, as these dispensers are always empty even upon student request.
Being able to properly use the bathroom is one thing, but being able to get access to go to the restroom is another. Barriers throughout the school day allow students only a certain amount of time for them to use the restroom, and even this is not enough.
Regardless of the short designated time that students are allowed to use the restrooms, the fact that students have to be assigned a certain amount of time during specific time intervals is not compliant with the needs of the student. It is not within one's control when they can use the restroom, and when students do have to use the restroom, they should be allowed to use it at the moment rather than waiting for long periods of time to use it.
I've been where they hand out bathroom passes, and it is kind of restricting because usually we either get 4 or 8 bathroom passes. And if you have any needs, you're on your period or you have a stomach ache or something that you can't control, it's definitely very hard.
Despite the roles that a teacher can have in their classroom to police a student's ability to use the restroom, when passing period occurs, this gives students another opportunity to use the restroom.
According to administrators, the designated 5 minutes of passing period should be enough for students to use the restroom and get to class on time, since that is how they are designed. But students had something else to say.
Usually you want to avoid using the restroom during passing period or breaks because everyone for some reason needs to go to the restroom all of a sudden, and the lines usually get extremely long.
For most students, traveling from the opposite sides of school during the passing period to get to their next class barely cuts them in time to get to class before the bell rings. So how can be enough time for students to use the restroom as well?
Of course, upon mentioning the topic of school bathrooms, the topic of cleanliness is bound to come up. What is most commonly the issue of people avoiding the school bathrooms is that there's always a degree of uncleanliness that repels students from going throughout the day.
The conditions are always really dirty and unsanitary because there's just random liquids on the floor, just toilet paper everywhere.
It honestly depends what kind of restroom you go to. For example, in the 300 building, you usually have a nicer, cleaner restroom, but if you go all the way towards the outskirts of school at the 900 science building, bathroom there is abysmal. Usually you'll find, let's say, a lot of excrements and some other bodily fluids on the ground a lot. Sometimes you'll find a lot of dirt, especially, and the drainage system doesn't work in the 900 building, so sometimes you'll be stepping in toilet water.
One time I walked into the bathroom and the toilet or the urinal stalls are the stall doors open so I can see into the stall, and I just see the toilet, which is supposed to be like this, turned a full 90 degrees.
These issues with the cleanliness can range from things such as putrid smells to unusable parts that constitute the restroom. It is important for students to take personal responsibility and have better respect for the restrooms. But how can we repair this problem and work on fixing it if the root of it is never addressed?
After taking interviews of students, what we noticed is that there have been quick fix solutions in place to combat the issue of bathroom cleanliness. The response to destruction of certain parts of the restroom caused by the students has similarly been also solved with these quick fix solutions. What we wanted to find out is whether or not these quick fix solutions, such as taking out mirrors after students damage them or removing stall doors from the boys' restroom, was the most effective solution, or if there could be something else in place that could better address the problem.
For guys, sometimes there's just no mirrors there. I mean, maybe because sometimes they're shatter and stuff, but because if the shards can be really dangerous, but I think that's it, really.
These conditions of the bathroom, which make it so unusable for students, are one of the biggest problems and the biggest reasons why students avoid using them. This is also another reason why fundraising efforts by individual students have risen throughout the years. But with issues such as these, there should be a way to report it without having to go through all of this trouble and by having it made more aware to students. And luckily, there is.
During our chats with administration regarding the school bathrooms, it came to our attention that there are methods in place to report the issues of the school bathrooms. The only problem is, if these solutions are reportable, then how come nobody has been doing anything for so many years and going about the wrong methods to raise awareness?
The most basic way to get something fixed is to talk to administrators about it. But when students at school and ASB have to host school-wide fundraisers that even the administrators are aware about, then it comes to a point where another step must be taken in order to bring about change in broken bathrooms.
A solution that is in place is the Stop It app that is downloaded on all the Chromebooks provided by the Fullerton Joint Union High School District. This app has the resources and the ability for students to send tips about broken facilities in order to get them fixed. The only problem is how aware students are of this app, because if they were, then why did nobody use this means of communication to report the bathroom issues that people have been facing?
We took a quick straw poll of students in the Fullerton Joint Union High School District, and it was found that 79% of students who attend the schools in this district were not aware of this app. While this app does offer a potential solution, the problem lies in the publicity and awareness of the solution. If students are not made aware that they have an outlet to report these conditions to, then how can they possibly fix the problem accurately?
There have also recently been stickers placed on the dispensers for feminine hygiene products in the women's restrooms displaying a number to be called if anything is broken. So calling that number might also be a solution in order to solve the problem of broken amenities. We want to thank you as the viewers so much for tuning into this podcast and going with us on this journey. We know that this topic can be awkward, but talking about the awkward things is necessary in order to create change.
We strive in this podcast to make change by reporting on the uncomfortable things that need to be addressed. With the help and support of viewers like you, we hope to enact change and spread awareness. We hope that with this episode today, you're able to learn more about the problems surrounding the bathrooms and ways to address the problem, whether it's calling a number, talking to your administrators, or using the Stop It app.
We want you to know that you have a voice as students, and it is only when the students get together collectively that we can make a difference in our community. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Esha.
And I'm Joy.
And this is Fullerton Uncovered.